guys, it's Bonnie from Dwelling Logs. I wanted to come on and I wanted to do a little bit of a recap of how October went and some of my vision casting for November. I know that Christina from Rooted Home Life, she always does this recap and looking forward video. And I just love it. Sometimes it can be a longer video going through the different things she is talking about, but I tend to like to talk more like coffee chatter and like just conversational general ideas, whereas this is kind of the kind of video that I can sit here and I can tell you specific resources we're using, liking, not liking, and specific things that we're doing going forward. I don't know if I will take the time to link every single resource down below, like with Amazon links and all that, but I may. We will see. It just depends on how much time. I am slowly trying to give YouTube more time, so we'll see how it goes. But just to talk a little bit about October, we had a really good month. We're finally on a roll. If you caught one of my earlier videos, we actually started our school year a little bit late. Harvest was here, and we kind of waited for all of that to slow down before we really got into the books. So something that really worked well in October is we really got into our rhythm of doing 2 math lessons a day, which was really good. We've done that in other years past. Last year, we really struggled to get through our math books just because we had so many colds hit us, and it was really, really challenging getting a lot of school days in last year. And so I'm so excited that we're on a roll starting. I actually have my 2 boys are like almost halfway done their books. I've also chosen to do Fix-It grammar this year, which is working really well. The kids really enjoy it. It's really simple and it doesn't take a lot of time, which I think that was part of the reason why my kids were starting to get a negative taste in their mouth about grammar, just because some of the books we were using was very time consuming. We're switching from Abeka. I was raised in Abeka. I did Abeka grammar all the way to grade 12. I thought it was very thorough. I always knew, I think, more grammar particulars about English and stuff than a lot of people my age. So I always thought a lot about Abeka, but I do know that it is more intense and more advanced. And so I just think we're just going to take a step back. I want to concentrate more on like free writing this year. And so this is just kind of a good gentle way to do, parts of your sentence and that kind of thing. So the kids are really enjoying the start of that. My impression so far is really good with Fix-It grammar. We are not currently adding in other grammar programs as such, just whatever comes and trickles in with our unit studies or little writing projects as I add in different printables and things like that. We might get a little bit more language arts and grammar that way. And I didn't say this for math, but for math, we're using 3 totally different things. My youngest is using Abeka, my middle guy is using Apologia math, my oldest does Singapore Dimensions math. And I really like to diversify the math. I like to know a lot about a curriculum, to try different things and to find what fits. And this is kind of the shoe that fit last year, and it's working really well again this year. I think I found a good math for each of their learning styles, which is really, really, really nice. So math is going good. We did a Reformation unit. Where is that? I had that out here. We were reading through this. We're actually not quite done this. The Reformers. This is by Raising Little Women Homeschool. She was a new account to me. I just saw her share about this. Last year we did Brighter Days Press. I always forget which one it is. Their Reformation unit. And I thought that's a really fun tradition to do in October. So we did that last year. We're working through this one this year. Lots of like YouTube videos about Luther. We did Luther poetry copywork that I was sharing as a freebie. And yeah, it was really, really fun. I definitely think that this unit was really good. I just to prepare if you're interested. There's a lot of like church lingo. For example, when you're reading the first bit about church history and what was going on, like ordained and clergymen, those sort of terms where if you didn't grow up in church or in like maybe a more liturgical church, some of these words won't be super familiar. So I had to do a lot of extra explaining outside of the words of the reading in here. And there's always Google. So like, I don't think it was a bad thing, but just, I thought this was a really, the wording in it maybe was a little bit more to older kids or to even adults, which is okay. I really don't mind that. I really believe in family style learning. I also believe in reading above your child's like reading comprehension level. So I think it's totally fine. We were really enjoying this so far. We're about halfway done, and we will continue to go through some of the things that they have in here. And I love the idea of having resources. I did download the freebie from Gather Around Homeschool. They did like a one lesson freebie on Martin Luther from their revival or Renaissance and Revival unit that's going to come out and just about is going to be released. So I downloaded it. We didn't go through it this year, but I'll tuck it in a folder with this one and my Brighter Days Press stuff, and I'll keep it all in a folder for October for the future years as well. We don't mind repeating things, so that's always fun. We also started Story of the World, which has been going quite well. I don't want to quite give my opinion and review on this just yet, but I think so far the kids are really enjoying it. They're enjoying me reading it. They like the idea of a reading time too. It feels very different to sip tea and cuddle with a book for history than to do it a different way. So we're really enjoying this. I think this is also a really easy thing to just add on if you want just a more consistent history. I tend to like to piece all of our school stuff together when it comes to science and history and all the extra subjects outside of math and grammar. And so it is nice to have some consistency though when you're doing that kind of style of schooling with all these little pieces. So I'm hoping that this will be just a fun time together that we'll kind of consistently go through chronologically through history. And yeah, so far so good. So we're gonna keep doing that. Bible. Let's go through. We have not done a lot in October through our Vikings unit. We started this in the summer or before the summer last year. So we have not done a lot of Vikings this particular month. It was really important for me at the start of the year is to get our math and grammar down and then slowly introduce some things. And I had different kind of printables. We had the mega bundle come this fall, and then that had printables that I wanted to do. So this just keeps getting put to the back burner, but we're over halfway done. So going forward in November, I would really like us to get some Vikings done. I did intend to do it, but we will have to move that on to next month. For Bible, what has been going really well, we're working through the Fruit of the Spirit study for little souls that I actually wrote this. These are from Amazon, though I got them printed, which was kind of cool. But they're just like little one-page Fruit of the Spirit devotionals, I guess you'd call them. But then there's a word study as well in the back so that we could do it as a family. So they're written in language that little kids can understand, but with the word study and stuff, I wanted it to be a little bit more meaty that we could all get something out of it as a family together. So we've been doing that. And we kind of have a rotation. If I need my hands free, then for Bible, we might put on the Truth Seekers podcast. The other one we're slowly working through is the new City Catechism. We've really liked this so far. I don't do all the activities in it. It's kind of meant for designed for church groups and stuff like that. But just talking through the teacher portions in this guide and doing the Bible verses and stuff, the meaty conversations that come out of my little kids is just amazing. And that is the reason I really, really like this. And then we have Then Sings My Soul. It's just hymn studies, little one-page things. So we are slowly working through this too, kind of as a Bible time read aloud as well. So that's sort of been our October routine. I did print off a few other things that we have not gotten to, but I'm trying to think. October, I had a really busy work month in October, which put kind of the fun schooling on a little bit of the back burner. So I want that to change in November. And the kids did a ton of reading. I think if my oldest put his book stack here of what he read, it would cover the screen. It was just crazy. He read so much this last month. So anyways, going forward. Oh yeah, and for Bible, I did bring this too. My mom and I and my friend are going through this Elijah study by Priscilla Shirer. I've never done one of her studies before, but so far I really, really like it. I think it's really, really good. Oh yeah, and we were talking back about core subjects. My youngest is doing the Gather Round Ready to Read. Oh, sorry, it's Letters and Numbers 2. I thought it was Ready to Read. It's Letters and Numbers 2. We did part of Letters and Numbers 1 last year, but I just felt that she was ready for number 2, so I went to number 2. If you're unfamiliar with Gather Round, Letters and Numbers 1 and 2, they both kind of go through the alphabet, but number 1 is like an introduction. Number 2, you kind of start to work on the actual sounds of it. And then the Ready to Read is really only for kids who know their letter sounds. Once your child knows their letter sounds, A to Z, then you're ready for the Ready to Read books. And there's a number 1 and number 2. So we are still working on letter sounds. So we are trying to use them and learn them. And yeah, so that's from Gather Round. And then going forward, so I had shared these printables. I can put a link to them below. I shared these printables earlier this year that I want to start using. It's a season that it says this season, and I want to write down basically all of what I want to see happen in the next month. I also have like top priorities, what is in season. So like we're getting winter here now. A lot of certain animals are gone for the year. We're not going to study bugs right now. We're going to pause that, and if we have cool printables we want to do, we'll probably wait till the summer. Winter birds are in season. So there's things like that you can write down. Remember, and a dream routine, what a dream routine looks like. I'll talk about that in a second. And then also I have a goal loop. So this is something that I'd like to print out every week if I can. And it just is, what do I need to prioritize? Three priorities for the home, 3 priorities for the home school life, 3 priorities for work and projects, because I have work on the side. And then I have some bonus time down here, habits and errands and don't forgets and up next. And so I really just made these sheets because this is the style of planning that I need to do. I don't need to write down a plan and submit hours to my province or anything like that. My province is very loose as far as regulations for homeschooling, but I do want some sort of plan. I can't do the planner thing where it's every day and too much writing and highlighting and stickers. I just don't have time for that. And so this was hopefully going to be just something where I could do some like goal setting and a sort of a dream list of things where I could think about what materials do I have and what do we want to use? What are the kids interested in? That's kind of what this was for. And this was more practical, like trying to remember all the things that I have to do in life this week. So these 2 sheets, I will put the free printable if you're interested in these, but this is kind of what I was going through in my mind going forward. So we're going to continue with math twice a day, like 2 lessons a day, and just keep plowing through. We're going to do language arts, and we're going to continue to do fix-it grammar. And I will see, I still have some older Abeka books that we could maybe take some pages from if we want, but I don't plan on using that right now. I'm going to stick with fix-it grammar. There's a few, there's a writing project printable. I actually don't have it in front of me, by My Texas Homeschool. My friend Julia made it, and it's a project to do a write-up of a food review, which I thought was really fun. So we're gonna throw in some extra things, but we're gonna stick with Fix It for our like main consistent curriculum. And then we'll continue with the Ready to Read for my little girl, or I wrote down Ready to Read. It's actually Letters and Numbers 2. We'll continue that. She's really enjoying it. So fun. And I illustrated like almost everything in there. So it's really fun because I'm like, oh, mommy painted that. So that's been really fun for me. I would love to wrap up Vikings this month, like coming in November. We've loved it. We still love it. I'm not in a rush, but I honestly do want to move on as well. I also have the Gather Round Middle Ages unit, which my kids were like, they love all the old fashioned stuff. And so I have that. I also have the Middle Ages unit from Wonder House Creative from my friend Monique. So I wanted to do both of those, depending on the kids, if that was going to be too much or what, or if they're just going to be totally into it. With that, I really, really want to read the old Robin Hood books. I can't remember what they're called, like Tales with the Merry Men or something like that. But I want to read the old one, and I actually have it on audio. So I will be able to read it on there, as well as we do have another Robin Hood book. I was even thinking maybe of making Robin Hood my next novel reflection that I create as we read it, so that I can give it to you guys and be like, here, you can read it, and there'll be discussion questions. And I thought we could do like bow and arrow anatomy, and I could do some painting for it. So I was really excited about that. And I thought that would pair really cool with Middle Ages. And then they're gonna have tons of stuff from the family. The other thing I have to keep in mind is that Christmas is coming. So we have lots of stuff that we wanna do in December. I actually should do an entire video just on Christmas schooling, because I have a lot of things that we have done that we have really liked. And this is the time of year that I have to get ready. Like if there's anything I have to get or prepare for, December is coming. So I will try to get that video out soon, so that if you guys are looking for Christmas ideas and you're in preparation mode too, that would be a really good thing. Things like the Jesse tree. I ordered a couple books today actually that will come in for December. Yes, I will save that for another video and hopefully do that very, very soon. But for November, we'll continue with our various Bible stuff. Remembrance Day is coming. So for us Canadians, Remembrance Day is November 11th. And I actually have a freebie that I have been sharing for the last 2 years, I think, or at least a year, with Jacqueline from Books and Willows. She has a Poppy anatomy printable, and I have one on like a poetry copywork thing from about Flanders Fields, that we have put together kind of as a freebie and like tag teamed it. And she messaged me the other day and she was like, we should do that. We should promote it again and give it to people as a freebie. And I said, yes, I think that's great. Maybe you got it last year already, or maybe it'll be new to you. I know for me, I do Flanders Fields with my kids every single year. So even if it's a repeat freebie, it can be a really great thing. So that's coming. I will put that freebie link in the description below as soon as it's available. Maybe I'll even pop on and do like a YouTube short to let everybody know it's here. And then, oh yes, the other thing I have printed off or that's coming is the Wild Explorers bundle is actually coming on November 6th. I should share about that here as well. I made a Churchill unit for Churchill, Manitoba. It's the polar bear and beluga whale capital of the world. It's a tiny town, but it's got a big place in this world. And so my new family lesson is on that, as well as Monique from Wonderhouse Creative. She has a unit that's coming out on Norwegian stuff. And we did her Hygge unit last year, and it was so great. And I kind of thought, we might repeat that, or we might do her new Norwegian unit, because that's going to come out right away. And I will share more about that in a little bit. But that might be a November thing that we lean into, because we like Hygge vibes and we like to be Hygge lit. So the other thing that I have written down is Canadian history and study themes, Canadian government themes. I have a lot of resources that are Canadian based. There's been a few like things, like interest-led things that have been leading into Canadian history. And so I think that we may lean into that. I got a huge DVD set from the library on Canadian history. It's old though. And I want to be a little bit particular, or at least conscious of like history not being quite presented right, if it's kind of older style, if you know what I mean. So I think we'll watch them, but I'm going to be watching and talking about the kids, like talking with the kids just about the awareness of history and perspective and whitewashing and all the rest. I think it's going to be, at the very least, a good conversation piece. And yeah, and I think it'll be a really good thing. And I do have Gather Round's Canadian government that I've been wanting to do for a while. So that's on the maybe list for November, as well as either in November or December. I told my kids I want to do an entire game schooling week. So we're going to take a week. If I feel like our brains need it in November, maybe depending on the weather, like if we get a cold snap, we might do a game schooling week in November. If not, for sure in December, I want to do a game schooling week. I think that will be super fun. I still want to do Shakespeare with the kids at some time, at some point. I was thinking that might tie in with our, like, between Middle Ages and Renaissance. Maybe we're going to have to pick up Gather Round's Renaissance unit or something. But if the kids are just loving all this, like, old school history stuff, which my kids always are into that sort of age, or era, I should say, we might just roll with that. So we will see. I put Shakespeare ? On my list, as well as birds. I wanted to do birds this fall and we did not get to it. We got the game Wingspan, which we love. I have several bird units and we need to get to it at some point. But unless we focus on winter birds, I may pause that until the spring. So priorities are core subjects and fun and connection, because I feel like I was so busy in October that I really want to make sure we're doing fun and connection, interest-led learning in November. December for sure is going to be fun, but I want to make sure that we're getting that groove on with our homeschool days of just having interest-led learning, following questions, and maybe we'll make a wonder board for questions that we can rabbit trail and pursue. Lots of tea time. So yeah, that is my plan. My dream routine, get a walk in before my hubby leaves for work, and do work until the kids get up. That's kind of my time to do my painting and stuff like that for Nature City Club. I'd love to keep on the routine of wrapping up our school by noon. And I usually will wrap up school whenever we're done our school for the day that I wanted to get done. But I love to have that wrapped up by lunchtime. It just works really well if we can have at least the core stuff and a unit study done or something like that by noon. And then our chores wrapped up by early afternoon, and a tidy house. This is the time of year that I do not like a messy house. I'm usually like okay living with, mess, especially in the summer, we're busy and stuff. But this time of year, I want to enjoy my Christmas decorations. And if it's messy in the house, I can't. So I would like to get better at a cleaning routine. And I actually did have some goals on this other sheet of just doing some decluttering. We need to get rid of, go through our toys and stuff like that. Christmas is coming. So there's a lot of December prep, because I don't want to spend all of December prepping for Christmas. I want to prep for December and have a whole month celebrating Christmas. So, because we love doing that. And that's what's worked well in the past. So tidy up, declutter, organize for school, and we'll do our core subjects, try to do some fun interest-led learning, life schooling, that kind of thing. For work, I've got Nature City Club. I've got my own projects coming up. I would really like to make a monthly subscription to have a letter or some learning of a famous missionary or Christian author or hymn writer or famous preacher, along with a Bible devotional, along with some geography that ties into their life. That is my vision. I'd really like to work on that. And I've been paring back with some of my other commitments so that I can pursue more faith-based resources. I love doing all kinds of resources, and I'm not scared to put faith-based stuff in my resources. But I would like to make some things that are specifically targeted at faith-based learning and encouragement for our children and stuff like that. And family style, of course, because I love family style learning. So yeah, and then bonus time, decorate for Christmas after Remembrance. I usually do it after, I don't feel like you have to do it after Remembrance Day, but I usually do wait. But anyway, I have some wintry stuff up at the moment. My habits, I want to get better at taking my vitamins. I found out that I have celiac disease yesterday. So that's been a big health journey that I don't necessarily need to all share here, but I want to get in a great habit of taking my vitamins every day. Meal planning is something I've never been good at, but I feel like I need it now. And drinking all my water goals, all the water goals. Anyways, so that's about it. I will come back with telling you guys more about the Wild Explorers bundle. I'll also come back and talk about what we're doing for December and Christmas school ideas, things that we've loved in the past, to just give some brainstorming ideas as you guys are planning for December. And that should be about it. So until next time, we'll see you later, and I hope you guys have a great homeschooling week. And yeah, you can catch me on Instagram or on my website. You can subscribe to my newsletter. I make sure I send out, not too often, but when something bigger is happening, like the Wild Explorers bundle that's only going to be available for a week, or if I'm giving away a freebie or something like that. So all that information will be in the description below and free to go and check out. So we'll talk to you later. Have a great day.